again, and welcome back to our preschool Bible stories. I am so happy that you are tuning in today. We have had the best time learning about a few of Jesus' disciples. Today is going to be very similar, but with a little twist. We are learning about Paul. And you may be thinking, he wasn't exactly one of the 12 disciples that walked with Jesus. And you're right, but the reason we're learning about Paul today is because even though he wasn't a true disciple, he still chose to love Jesus and went on to do almost everything the disciples did. His story shows us that we can be just like the disciples too. The Bible says to go make disciples, tell the world about Jesus, and teach all that Jesus has commanded us. Paul went on to do just that and share the gospel so that we can go on to be like one of the 12. Here is his story.
Hi everyone, my name is Joe, and I want to tell you about a man named Saul. Saul was a Pharisee. He hated the followers of Jesus and was so mean to them. He would even try to hurt them very badly just because he didn't like them. Saul even tried to get permission to go find and arrest any followers of Jesus. He wanted to put them in chains and bring them back to Jerusalem. And so he went looking. While he was on his way, there was a huge, bright light from heaven that shined in his face. It was so bright that he couldn't see anything else. While this light was shining on him, a voice from heaven said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul yelled back, "Who are you?" And the voice said, "I am Jesus. Rise and go into the city, and you will be told what to do." Then the light went away, and the voice was gone. But there was one problem. When Saul opened up his eyes, he could no longer see. Some men helped lead him into the city, and when they got there was a man named Ananias and walked him up to Saul, and Ananias put his hands on him. After he did this, Saul could see again. Saul knew that he was able to see because of the voice he had heard. Do you remember who it was? It was Jesus. Saul was so grateful, and he turned his life around. Instead of going after followers of Jesus to hurt them, he became one of them. He began telling everyone about Jesus and what Jesus had done for him. His life was completely changed. He began to go by a new name. He changed his name to Paul. Paul, who was once a murderer of Christians, became a Christian who could not stop talking about Jesus. He traveled all over telling people the mercy of God. He went through many difficult times like being in jail, almost getting killed, and so much more. But nothing could stop him from telling the world about Jesus. It is because of him that many other people came to know Jesus as well. Even though Paul may not have always been great, he went on to do really big things.
Paul is such an amazing example of how we can live just like the disciples and have a close relationship with Jesus. He showed us that anyone can do big things for God. Now, for the last time, let's do our memory verse. Let's jump into our memory verse. For those who don't remember, our memory verse is Matthew 28:19. And it goes like this: "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." Do you guys think you can stand up and do it with me? Awesome. Everybody on a count of 3, let's stand up. 1, 2, 3. Up, up, up. Awesome. Great job. Well, let's do our memory verse. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations. Do you think we can do it one more time for the very last time of this series? Well, let's make this one count. I want to hear everybody say it loud and proud. On a count of 3, as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Go therefore and make disciples of all all nations. Good job, everybody. I can't wait to see you guys next week.